Brandon, how happy are you tonight, mate?
Yeah, good tell. Midweek's performance against Sporting Lisbon, I didn't think there would be much that could top that. But I think the first 39 minutes of this game topped it. I think we was absolutely impeccable in the first 39 minutes, not just in our attacking phases, but the way that we controlled the ball, the way that we nullified West Ham completely. We didn't allow them to have a single sniff. I don't even remember West Ham having the ball in our half in them first 39 minutes. And obviously they picked the ball out of the back of the net quite a few times. But yeah, and then the second half performance, like Sauls was saying, you see a lot of people complaining about us not going for the sixth, the seventh, the eighth. I actually quite like that about the fact that we controlled the game in the second half. You know, the game was won. There's no need. It's not like towards the end of the season where we're having to try and make up goal difference or anything like that. You know, the game's won. Get the 3 points. Don't do anything stupid. Yeah, and just control it. Game management is key. Yeah, because we already see in that second half that a little bit of a lapse in concentration, and this is Premier League football. It doesn't matter who you're playing against; teams can score against you, and that's what happened in the first half after the first 39 minutes. I was a little bit disappointed, really, because I thought up until that point we controlled the game really well. But for me, the first goal consists of Trossard sleeping on the back post and Calafiori being caught in no man's land. Um, just on Calafiori as well, I know what he's going to offer Arsenal going forward, but I haven't really been too impressed with him defensively since he's come into the side. I don't think he's had great moments. I can point out a couple of games for that, but it doesn't matter today. But in a tighter game, maybe something like that would matter. The second goal, it wasn't a free kick anyway. Declan Rice clearly won the ball. And let's be real with it, no goalkeeper in the world is stopping that free kick. So you can't really, point to us as being at fault for that. Although, again, I think we kind of led to the error being made in the first place because we was the ones who gave the ball away in, our half of the pitch once again, which led to the free kick. So it's just two moments there where you got to be critical of. I think the manager, dealt with that at half time anyway. He clearly said to the players, look, just, the game's won. Game management, control the game. The substitutions that he brought on as well. He took off Calafiori, clearly has a problem. Brought on Zinchenko, and he's one of the substitutes who I actually look at and think, do you know what? You did really well today. I always worry about Zinchenko defensively, but I think the instructions that the manager gave him, which was, again, clearly to go on and just control the game, control the possession, don't do anything stupid, extravagant, or anything like that. I think Zinchenko did that really well. And yeah, what can we say about these players? At the moment, we're scintillating in front of goal. We're scoring goals for fun, and we need to continue it on. It is only one more game, and we need to go on a run. We are behind Liverpool. People, I know Souls is sitting there saying right now that he thinks that we could catch Liverpool. We've still got a points deficit.
I don't think. I know we will. That overtaking is going to happen.
Okay.
There's no thinking about it. It's a reality. It will happen.
Okay, but I'm still. Do you know what? There's something that you said in your monologue, Sauls, that I totally agree with. Right?
That's a monologue.
You pointed out about the January transfer window, and I totally agree with you on that. I think January is going to be key for not just Arsenal, not just Liverpool, but I ain't writing Man City off, guys. They look terrible right now, and
But you know what the issue with City is, though, Brandon? They need a physical presence, but they're looking at Zubimendi being the saviour. That's not going to help them.
They do, but Man City are the one team out of all three teams that I actually trust would go out in January and spend big money to get a player that they need. Whereas when I look at ourselves and when I look at Liverpool, we don't really do that. Liverpool don't really do that. So it's going to be key.
Man City haven't done that in years, though. Who have they got?
Their recruitment in the past for a few seasons has been a bit iffy.
Yeah. Do you know what's really interesting about their recruitment is a few stories have come out in the last couple of days that it was the summer of 2025, irrespective of what happened this season when they were looking to invest. And I'm wondering whether or not that's them tempering their fans into, if they've got, and this is typically how City work, if they've got a main target that isn't available to the summer, until the summer, they may wait. I'm not saying they shouldn't sign a Zubimendi, but typically speaking, City will go after their main targets and they'll kind of wait. But yeah, look, they could, and I'm not writing City off just yet. Tomorrow's game may change everybody's mind in terms of winning the league. I mean, they'll only still be a point behind you guys, I think, if they lose tomorrow, or maybe a little bit more. But I just don't see them having a 12-point swing with Liverpool if they lose tomorrow. Personally,
I think that's where it's going to be key. You know, we're talking about, like I say, out of the 3 clubs that I think that I could trust to go out in January and spend, you know, the big money and get the players that they need, Man City would be the team. So it's kind of on Arsenal and Liverpool to take advantage of City while they're in this bad moment, to get as much of a points gap on them, so that it almost, you know, January almost becomes null and void to them, because like you said, Tel, they would normally wait for a target in the summer. I think if Man City is so far behind Liverpool and Arsenal, they probably won't January and do it. But if they are still within touching distance, then maybe they do.
Yeah, you know? I agree. I think that could play a huge role. But listen, I think what you said about game management tonight, back to tonight's match, I think I've got a few of my mates, like nothing to do with YouTube, just friends of mine, group chats, moaning, oh, second half was a bit boring. I've just gone in there and said, guys, this is so typical of a Premier League team, especially the ones that are going to be in title races. When you're 3 or 4-0 up at the end of the first half, the second half are often drab, because there is no need for Arsenal to play at 100 miles an hour in that second half, you know, risk injuries. They took your better players off. That's actually what you want. In reality, I know there's a desire of the fact, it'd be great to score 6, 7, 8, 9 and really stick it to West Ham. But imagine you'd kept the players on, played at 100 miles an hour, but 2 players pull muscles badly. That'd be crazy. You did the absolute right thing to manage that game out, 100%.
The perfect example, just tell them about 2011 Arsenal versus Newcastle. Arsenal 4-0 up at half-time, and we end up drawing the game 4-4.
Oh, the great late Czech Toyota with that volley right at the end. I remember that game. I'm going to go back to the Arsenal fans in a minute, but Staffy is here with us. Are you here to apologize for the blasphemy you said yesterday in your prediction for this game?
Yeah, I'd like to apologize to all the Arsenal fans. I'm assuming most of the chat does watch Straight Facts, especially on Friday, because why wouldn't you? And if you're not, what is there better to do on Fridays than to watch Straight Facts? But I apologize to Arsenal fans. I made a very outrageous prediction. I predicted you would win by 3 or 4 goals. You actually scored 5. So I apologize that I underestimated you guys. You scored more than I thought you would. So for that, I apologize. But on some real talk, though, I don't usually hop on a lot of rivals match reactions, especially not Arsenal. Especially not after an Arsenal win. It would make more sense if I was here after a loss. But we do play you guys on Wednesday. And obviously this match today, me watching the game, outside of it being a good game to watch, obviously I'm doing a little bit of scouting before we face you guys. And I have questions, because I will be honest, I'll hold my hand up. I did tweet about a few weeks ago that Arsenal are no longer scary. Number one, it was to take a dig at Terry, because why not? It's always fun to do so. But secondly, because I generally did feel that you guys lost that fear factor that I thought Arteta was building for a few years. And I understand, I understand Odegaard was injured, but I there's a few times where I was here on either Straight Facts or the Top 6 where I'm saying I don't think it's just down to Odegaard. It's down to some of the recruitment that you've done over the last 2 summers, especially. You look like you were going for more of a physical type of play rather than, you know, fluid football that you've been playing over the last 3 games. And excuse me if I'm wrong, I think you guys scored 13 goals now in a week. So back-to-back games, 13 goals. That's absolutely amazing. This does look like the old Arsenal that was just scoring for fun. And I'm trying to understand what changed outside of just Odegaard, because no disrespect, I like Odegaard. I actually praise him a lot all the time. And I always say he's probably the best 10 in the league if De Bruyne is not obviously
to answer your question, Staffy, though, on that, it's not
just that's what I want. I'm so happy you're here, because I like to listen
creativity
to
alone, though. what you need to understand is Odegaard initiates the press from the front, the defense from the front as well, which then means that there's less of an opportunity for teams to kind of counter us and, you know, kind of getting behind and actually do what West Ham did today. Obviously, with Odegaard getting more fitter and fitter, those presses will start happening a lot more. When you look at his pressing leading numbers, he's one of the best in the league at doing it in terms of like distance covered, his leadership. You know, that's what we've missed more than anything. As good as like the Gabriel, the Declan Rice, the Saka's art of being leaders by example on the pitch, they're not that. They're not people who can, you know, get Havertz to also press and like, you know, manipulate those sort of positions. And that's kind of where I think Odegaard's underlying and those sort of off the ball movements kind of go missing, and his ability to kind of orchestrate the way that the team needs to set up the tempo control, you know, because Havertz has done a good job, but he's not a midfielder. He needs to play in the 9. As much as Trossard drops into that midfield and does it, yes, they have their qualities. Yes, they can do certain things that Odegaard can. But even if we brought Ethan in, it still wouldn't. Yes, we would have that fluid football, but we wouldn't have the press. We wouldn't have the defensive. And also, you know, Partey's been in and out as well, playing right back and stuff like that as well, which hasn't helped. You know, Declan Rice with a broken toe. You know, Mikel Moreno obviously getting the shoulder injury. Those sort of things have mitigated the way that Arteta wants to play. Also, on top of that, when you look at the oppositions we played in the sort of opening 6, 7, 8 games, have been against the top half of the table and most of the top 6 as well, which also is going to bring a bit of conservativeness when you look at the away performances. The only time we played a home game against one of the big teams was against Liverpool. So that's how I see it personally. I just think Odegaard adds so much more to the game than what people think.
It's also helped the fact that we have a stable back four in the last 3 games. I think this back four that we have right now is the best back four we have in the team, even when with Ben White fit, because Timber, in my opinion, is better as a right back than Ben White. And these guys do help going forward. I know people think, yeah, but these are defenders. But the fact that Calafiori and Timber both make overlapping runs, both of them can invert, both of them link up and play the 1-2. We saw in the last 2-3 games, Timber was incredibly effective going forward, not just creating, scoring, like not scoring, creating and linking up with Saka and what's his name, Odegaard. And Calafiori on the left, while I hate this because I don't think any player should only play well when he has certain players with him, but Calafiori has also helped Martinelli play well. He's helped Martinelli go forward and make those runs. I'm not happy with that because I think Martinelli should be able to perform even when certain players are not there, because Saka does. But it definitely has helped having Calafiori and Timber as fullbacks.
Guys,